actually Christy might hop on with us too. Let me make sure I remind her.
She said she had a meeting.
She had a meeting?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boo. She said she didn't think she had one. Oh, well. Okay. How are you guys?
Good.
Y'all can
Good.
talk. I can talk. This is just us. I was trying to put together a post before I got on here, but you know how sometimes it just won't flow, but I'll finish it when we're done. I'm sure I'll be like inspired. But hold on a second. Okay, so I am gonna let y'all just start. Okay, y'all, I read kind of your posts in our thread about some things that you're struggling with. So I want to let you guys just talk because sometimes that helps. And then you can ask questions, you can do whatever you want to, but like just tell me, Lindsay, I'll start with you. Tell me where you're at and kind of like where your conversations are at, what you're struggling with. And I read what you wrote, but just kind of talk to us a little bit.
Well, you know, we went to Orlando, and so it was really hard for me to keep everything tracked on like a written tracker.
Yeah.
And so I was actually down there for a conference, and it was like a network marketing type conference. So I was getting a lot of personal development, which was great, but I didn't have a whole lot of time to do anything. And so I just tried to add a bunch of people and send a bunch of like, hey girl and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't gotten a great response on a lot of those. But I put together my free group, and it is like getting an amazing, I think, compared to my last free group last month, it's an amazing turnout.
Has it started already?
Yeah, I just did a 5-day water challenge, and so it's supposed to be Monday to Friday, and I've actually got 25 people who are very active, and they're every day, selfies of them drinking their water, and they've even, I told them the prize was like a $25 gift card, but I told them I'd put their name in like 5 times if they would invite 2 friends.
Yeah.
And I had 3 or 4 people invite, friends. And so I've even gotten like new friends out of that. And so new contacts. And so I'm really encouraged by that group, and I'm hoping that hopefully I'll get something out of that group. Because a lot of them are being very, very good about posting and everything. So I'm really hoping that and I hate to put all my eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
I've already missed my deadline on the 15th, but it just, it was just it's been crazy so far. So, I don't know. The Hey Girls that I sent out that weren't related to my water challenge have gotten just basically nothing. So I'm hopefully going to maybe try and just no response. I don't even know if they have, I guess they have Messenger.
Yeah.
But it's not even like, hey, good to hear from you back.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'm weird about that because I'm like, well, I don't even know whether to send another message, because most of them are like, hey, I haven't seen you since elementary school. How have you been?
Yeah.
And so then well, when there's no response, I feel like, does that justify another message being like, hey, I didn't hear from you?
Okay. So are they seeing your message?
Does it tell you when their little picture shows up?
Yes. If their picture is beside it, that means they've seen it. And it should say, if you're on your computer, it says seen, and it tells you what time they looked at it. But on your phone or something, if their picture's beside it, then they saw it.
Do you think maybe I should send a follow-up if they've seen it?
If they've seen it? So here's the thing about Hey Girl messages. When you send a Hey Girl message, that person is automatically going to start seeing your posts more. So in the National Wake Up Call, Tracy pointed this out. Somebody on that call said, posting is your paycheck. So my next question is, are you posting about your challenge group? Are you talking about your challenge group? Are you doing public invites, a call to action every day, in some way, not in an ad necessarily, but if that person went to your page and they read through your post, would they know that you're hosting a challenge group? Would they know that you're a coach, that you drink Shakeology, that you're working out every day? Obviously, you're awesome about your workout posts, and you did awesome with your workout posts while you were gone, which is really important and showing that consistency. But so like, that's the next question. So like, if somebody doesn't respond to me and it's just one of those random hey girl messages and they see it and they don't respond, I'm not going to follow up and say, hey, I saw you saw my message, how are you doing? Because obviously if they're going to respond, they're going to respond. But I might follow up, like a month or two later or something, but I'm not going to like pester somebody if they just don't want to respond. But I know that if I message them, they're going to start seeing my posts. So to me, that is just a way to get their eyes on what I'm talking about and what I'm doing and about my challenge groups and stuff. So that's kind of the mindset that I take with those. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So,
but I know that's kind of my weakness right now is like the posting, because my days have been so busy and like I was in conference all day long. And so I was like struggling to find something.
Yeah. You cut out.
About, and my mom was with me. She's talking to this guy that's from Florida, and she thinks that he's kind of like stalking her. And so she wouldn't let me post because she was like, I don't want anybody to know that we're in Orlando because he will come up here and he'll try to find us.
Oh my goodness.
She hates posting on social media, and she hates like people that post all the time. And she's like very vocal, and so I think it annoys her that I do it anyway. And so with me all the time, it was like I was really struggling with what to post without her knowing and without her like her being involved and whatnot, if that makes sense.
So I would like today, I would just make a goal to sit down like around lunchtime and write out a post maybe about, how your free group is going, about accountability, and like, like maybe you could share a success story from one of your challengers in our group right now, because your challengers are so consistent. I mean, like they are showing up, like even when they have bad days, they post, and maybe you could talk about the accountability piece and just make that into like a challenge group post and talk, and you don't have to like say this is what we do in challenge groups, but through telling that story, you're explaining what a challenge group is and what you do. And then maybe tonight you do like a challenge group ad, and make sure you do it. Like, don't do it real late because people aren't going to see it, but do it between like, I do mine between like 7:30, 9:30. That's when most people see it. And you can even like, guys, if you see me do one of those posts, like these work for some reason. I don't know why. But like, you see me do one of those things. I don't even post a picture sometimes, but like I'll just post, I'm looking for, it does help with the picture always, but I'm looking for 5 women who are just sick and tired of being sick and tired of overweight, or you don't have any energy and you want to do something about it right now. Like I'll share that wording with you guys in this group of what I do, but like sometimes just that very simple wording, like 3 sentences, really grabs people's attention. And I'll share an example from one that I did before. And, but like, so if you share like a success story today, like that's the thing, like we have to be talking about what we're inviting people to, or they're not gonna know, they're not gonna know. And so that's, messaging and all that stuff is really important, and connecting with people. But like she said on that National Wake Up Call, like posting is our paycheck. Like that's how we educate people. That's how they know what we're about. That's how they, understand what a challenge group is, why you drink Shakeology, why it might benefit them. And so I think that would probably be kind of your plan of action today. And then, like, I think, was it you, Lindsay, or maybe it was somebody else that said something about, like how the conversation kind of never gets around to the challenge group. Did somebody say that?
Yeah, I mean, I've got some conversations like that, yeah.
Yeah, so like you have a conversation and then like you just never feel like you get to that point where you can talk about it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I've got a lot of conversations like that where I've just been like, hey, I haven't talked to you in a really long time. How have you been? What's been going on in your life? And then they're like, oh, life's been good. Thanks. Nice to hear from you. Bye. And then that's it. Like,
So
no
they don't
response.
ask like how you are or anything like that.
No. Like, I've got a lot of conversations like that.
Okay,
It's like,
all right. So again, like I would just use those as like a way to get their eyes on what you're doing. And then, so like if you're posting something every day, something about your workouts, about your challenge group, just about meal planning, if you're adding, sharing recipes and things like that, people are gonna I feel like, and I'm not just like saying you're not doing this, but like for me in a long time, I would post about a challenge group once a week. I would post my workout selfies and then nothing else. But once I started to add value at, and do things that people will come back to your page for, things like recipes, sharing a success story, like people came to expect my transformation Tuesdays. People came to expect my meal planning days. People came to expect my blog post about my meal plan at the end of the week, and so like people come back to my page for those things because it adds value. And so like I don't feel like if I talk about a challenge group every day, like I when I'm recruiting I do, but like I don't care if that annoys them because I'm providing so much value and so much information otherwise that like it's worth somebody to come back to my page. And if I talk about those things enough, if I talk about Shakeology, like Shakeology was that was like my kryptonite. Like I was so scared to talk about Shakeology on a regular basis because I felt like I was being salesy or that like I was annoying people. But I can't tell you how many people who were like, okay, I've seen you talk about this enough. Like, I've got to try Shakeology. You have just been so consistent in talking about how it's helped you, how it's helped your challengers. And then, like, another thing is, like, coaches are like, oh, everybody else is talking about Shakeology or whatever. I feel stupid talking about it. And, like, after, like, I had, like, 3 or 4 coaches locally join my team that were, like, friends of my friends and stuff, and they started talking about it, like, I had people say, okay, there's so many people talking about this, there must be something to it. Like, I've got to do it. So you go, like, you can't shy away from posting because that is your business. And like I did that in the beginning. Like I was so nervous and anxious to talk about those things that comprise our challenge group, which were Shakeology and accountability and meal planning and support and workouts. But that's what people need. That's what they come back for. And that's how we educate them, especially those people who maybe aren't responding to our posts or to our conversations, but they're seeing what you are posting. And so like Lindsay, so today, like I would just come up sometime today with your challenge group post for tonight. And, you can even schedule it if you're going to be with your kids, like you can get on Buffer or Hootsuite or something and just schedule it to go out when you want it to go out tonight and give a clear call to action. Like tell people if you want to be a part of this, message me or drop your email below or whatever, like you've got to tell them what to do. And I've even said before in a post, like, if this isn't for you, but you think somebody else would benefit from the support and accountability, share this post or tag them below or something like that. And people will do it. They may not do it every time, but people will do it. And it just takes, 2 or 3 people that decide to commit. So that's my suggestion, like right now for where you're at. And so does that help?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I definitely think I liked what Christy did in the just doing a live video, and I really have been thinking about doing that for a while because to me it's easier to just jump on and do a live video than it is to think of a post.
Yeah, and when you do that, like when you do your live video, make sure you do it when there's a lot of people online because like, even if they don't comment, even if they don't post, they're gonna watch it. Like people are gonna watch your post. And I would even like make a list of bullet point things that you want to talk about because if you're like me, like I tend to ramble, and so I would just make a list of things that you want to cover in your video. And then, don't talk for 20 minutes because you will lose people. But, just sit down and say, hey, you see me talking about challenge groups sometimes or Shakeology, and this is what it is. This is what it's done for me. This is what I'm inviting you to, and, so on. So I think a live video is an awesome idea.
Yeah, I just feel like it's easier. I'm really struggling with like the post thing lately. It takes me way too long to be doing posts.
Okay. Who wants to go next?
Yeah.
Rachel, Lauren, Andrea?
I was just going to ask, how long should a video be? I was thinking about doing it, connecting it with Transformation Thursday and in my challenge group today.
Yeah.
But
I would keep a video under 10 minutes, honestly. You know, people, after about 6 or 7 minutes, people are going to start to kind of phase out.
okay.
Does that, you know, I mean, like, think about yourself.
I'll try.
Huh?
I'll try to keep it under 10 minutes.
Okay. What, Lindsay?
I was just going to say, like, I just use my rule of, like, if I'm watching a video, I usually phase out at 5 or 6 minutes. Like, I'm always,
Yeah.
you know, like,
So,
okay, that's enough.
I think that having a list is really important. You know, like a list of things that you know you want to talk about. Because I just ramble. Like, I just ramble, and I hate it when I ramble.
I do too.
All right. So, who else? Who wants to go next? Don't be shy. Nobody? So one of the things that I do feel like that I saw you guys post about is that you seem to be, I think that y'all said a lot, you seem to be in conversations with people that are just kind of going nowhere. And I'll be honest, like, you have to take it there. Like, you have to take the conversation there. You know, I can start conversations all day long, but if they don't ask me about my challenge groups, if I know they're seeing my posts and things like that, like, I don't care to bring it up. Like, I'll bring it up, and I'll, you know, if it doesn't go there on its own, I'll just say, hey, well, you know, I'm sure you've been watching me, or maybe you have seen or haven't seen, but I have been, you know, I started really focusing on my health and fitness lately. I've found some support and accountability, and I am really, okay, I found this post. I've been scrolling through here looking for this post for y'all. Like, I am really encouraged. I'm seeing results for the first time in a long time, and I am just really excited about what I'm doing. And I wanted to see if you might be interested in joining a accountability group with me. It's just all about health and fitness and taking care of our bodies and really setting long-term goals for ourselves, not a diet. You know, I mean, you don't have to be that wordy. You can kind of go through the conversation slower, but you know, sometimes you just got to take the conversation there, and you would be surprised at how many people don't just say no. They don't. I mean, like, a lot of people will say, yeah, maybe, tell me more, you know? And so, like, if the conversation is not going there on its own, like, you got to take it there. You know, if your goal is to hit Success Club, like, you're going to have to, like, bring it up with people. And I don't suggest, like, starting a conversation and, you know, like, that day saying, hey, do you want a challenge group? I mean, I have before and it's worked, but, you know, like, really invest in people. And one thing Andrea and I were talking about the other day was, you know, like, be yourself. Like, I feel like we get so caught up in, like, people as challenge packs and Success Club points or whatever, that we just kind of, like, are robotic. You know, we go through that, you know, I've shared conversations with you guys, like, about conversations with challenge group conversation. What am I saying? I can't think, y'all. About challenger interviews and conversations. And, you know, like, I mean, like, I can share those all day long, but, like, if you're just kind of going through the motions and saying what I say or saying what somebody else says, like, it's not going to work. Like, you've got to be you. Like, you got to be you. If you're funny, if you make jokes a lot, if you are, like, more serious or more compassionate, like, just be you. You know, if somebody tells me, you know, like, I want to get healthy so badly, but you know, I'm just so tired, it's hard for me to get up, I'm not going to be like, yeah, well, okay, well, just make time and let's get you a challenge pack. You know, like, I'm not just going to jump into it. I'm going to say, oh, girl, like, it is hard for me to get up somewhere. And I'm going to say, oh, girl, because that's what I say. And, you know, it is hard for me to get up some mornings. Like, I do not want to drag my butt out of bed. You know, like, I'm just going to talk like I would talk, and I'm going to be me. What?
You watch the old, we can watch that. You know, the wrestling movie with the doll.
Not right now. Okay, go watch one of your other shows. Put that DVD in, okay? Like, just be you, and don't Milo, what?
But when you watch something on the road.
Okay, well, you're just gonna have to wait and figure something out. We're working, okay? So like just be you and have fun with your conversations. Like that's a big thing that like I struggled with for so long. But you know, like who you are and how you post that's how people are going to connect to you with you and they're going to relate with you. So like if you don't look like you're having fun in your posts, if you're just posting about challenge groups and Shakeology and your workout selfies and like it looks like and sounds like it's kind of torture to you and you say the same thing every single day, people are not going to be turned on by any of it. And so like in your posts, in your conversations, like, I mean, sit down and write out, okay, so I heard this. Where did I hear this the other day? Sit down and write out a list of things that people love about you. Like think about your friends, think about your family, think about your spouse. Like what are some things that people love about you? And obviously like, you know, really personal things that apply to your spouse or something like you may not want to share, but like, do you have a sarcastic sense of humor? I have a very sarcastic sense of humor. And like, I didn't post that way for a really, really long time, like probably a year and a half. But when I started getting kooky, when I started like, you know, sharing, like, you know, my kids are making me nuts, I may just send them off to the pound or something, you know, like people love that stuff. And when I started to be myself, people connected with me more. And so like I carry that, my personality over into my conversations. So like if you send somebody a message and they don't respond back and you're the type of person that's like, hey, look, you know, talk to me, you know, I mean, like in a funny way. I mean, I wouldn't say that, so I'm not going to do that. But like if you have a funny personality, like be that way in your conversations. But at the same time, you know, like those conversations are a place for you to listen and to invest and to really connect and build a bond with people. And so like I would encourage you, like when you're in those conversations, just like, so something that I pray a lot, and like I can't show you guys because I'm on the computer, but I have this, I'm going to cut my child's head off. If y'all see it happen, like just ignore it and don't report me to the authorities, okay? What?
Me and Henry both agree on that wrestling movie.
I don't want you to watch the wrestling movie right now. Okay. So what was I saying? Oh, like I have this scripture verse up above my desk, and it's 1 Corinthians 16:14, and it says, let all that you do be done in love. And so like when I get in like coach mode and I'm like thinking about my goals and numbers and things like that, like I have to stop and I have to pray and I have to ask God and say like, how can I invest in this person today? Whether they buy a challenge pack or not, whether they join my challenge group or not, how can I make this person's life better today? Leave a little bit of sunshine behind, you know? And so that changes my shift. I mean, that shifts my focus. That changes the way that I talk to that person. It changes my attitude. And I have that scripture verse up there because I'm not like that naturally. And I'm a 100% believer in the fact that God tells us these things because we won't do it on our own initiative, right? And so like I'm very goal oriented. I'm very driven. And like I want to get to the heart of the matter. And I have to like remind myself that I've got to stop. This is a person. This is an individual. This is someone who, you know, I don't know what they're going through. Maybe me messaging them and saying, hey, you know, do you want to join a challenge group? You know, I would love for you to be a part of it and, you know, like focus on your health and your fitness and your spiritual health. You know, that might lift somebody up that day. I don't know. I can't prejudge. I can't decide for them. And, you know, so my attitude and my thinking play a big part in my success, I believe. Because I mean, like I'm a steady Success Club earner now. I hit high numbers. I hit at least Success Club 10 every month, and it's not because like I have these super special abilities. It's just because my mindset, my shift has shifted. My focus has shifted, and I really, really believe that, and I see that in my business. What? No. Hey, if you come back and ask me if you can watch another movie, you're going to get in trouble. Okay? You have tons of books from the library. Go get some. And so, like, I was reading. I hope you guys, this is another thing. Like, are you reading your personal development? You know, like, you've got to be doing this. Like, you've got to. This book, I wish I had read this book when I was a new coach because, like, it's incredible. And she says, you know, this, because, and I related to this. This is on page 32. She says, I'll be the first to admit I wasn't always a positive person. And this is me. I could be saying this myself. When I first started my business, like most people, I was a big bundle of doubt and fear. I was a big bundle of doubt and fear for like a year and a half, okay? I would allow every distraction to discourage, every disappointment to demotivate me. I had my daily I quit moments. And if you two are on the, I'm inserting Beachbody, if you're on the Beachbody roller coaster, it's time to stop the ride, refocus, recommit, reestablish your goals, and restart. And so like our thinking plays so much, it's such a big part in our success. So like if you're sending messages and people aren't responding, or if you're sending messages and people are just saying no right away, like you've got to shift your focus. You've got to say, okay, this person does not define my success. This does not define who I am. But you probably do need to reevaluate the way that you're approaching conversations. You may need to look at your posts. Like, do people know what you're about? If you invite them to a challenge group and they go back to your page, are they going to know what a challenge group is? Because I guarantee you that's what people are doing first. Before they even respond, they're probably saying, what is she talking about? And if they go to your page and they don't see anything there, then, they're not going to be very likely to be a part of it. So, like inviting and following up and all those things are important, but you've got to look at the whole picture. And part of that picture is your mindset. And so like one thing that I would start to do, I learned this from another coach, like before I would sit down and do my challenge group invites, like guys, this is literally, like I would like get up and I would be like, I'd get myself all pumped up and I would get excited and I would tell myself like this person, they join my challenge group, is going to be the best thing that happens to them. Like I would just talk so positively to myself. I would always pray. Like praying is a given. Like I don't know, that's not true. I don't always pray because God has had to remind me to do that. But prayer is a big part of it, but my mindset was so huge. And so like, as you sit down to do your invites, like make a list of all the awesome things that you have benefited from as a challenger. Make yourself a challenger again and share it. Like you're going to share, like if you find the best butt cream for your baby, like, aren't you going to go and tell all your girlfriends about it? Yeah. And so like we've just found the best solution for starting something, for getting healthy, for getting fit and staying there. And so like that excitement carries over into your conversations. And so, like Andrea, she shared some with me. She shared some of her conversations with me and she's doing an awesome job, but I was just like, Andrea, just be more yourself. You're fun. You're cool. You have a cool personality. Like just be yourself in those conversations and people relate more to that. And so that's a big part of it. I don't know if you guys, I just posted that image in our phase 2 group from my She Works His Way devotion this morning, and it's awesome. Like, do you guys read that? Do you guys have that app, She Works His Way? Today it was about growth God's way. And, she was just talking about, asking God basically to bless your efforts. And, to ask God to give you creativity. Like I don't always have the words for these posts that I post, guys. Like I have to pray a lot for words. Like, and sometimes it'll take me 20, 30 minutes when I'm really struggling to get a post out. Sometimes it takes me 5 minutes to get something out. But like when I'm struggling, I have to pray. And this devotion was cool. I love the list that they gave. Ask God for creativity. Ask God for fun or fresh new ideas. Ask God to help you to be able to share your personality in maybe a fun way. Ask yourself, like, am I excited about what I'm about to post? Does it sound like I'm excited? Would I want to join me? Those are some things those are obstacles that I definitely had to overcome. And, and the personal development is such a big part of it. And so let's see. So does that help? Does that give you any motivation? Like I know you guys know the basics. I know you know the 4 vitals. I know you know that you've got to post, that you've got to invite, that you've got to follow up, that you've got to do your personal development. But at this point, like, are you doing it? Like, are you getting that personal development in every day? If you're waiting till you go to bed and, it's not helping you, do it before you sit down to do your power hour. Like that helps me. I read from this book before I got on this call with you guys. because I kind of needed like some fresh insight, and I needed to be reminded that, you know, mindset, my attitude about success, you know, how I'm talking, it's powerful, you know, it's powerful, and it makes or breaks what my communication, what I'm communicating with people. And so, Andrea, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I just have, like, I guess my question would be, I am to the point that I'm not giving up, and I am continue doing the things, and I feel like that book helped me to see, you know, that what is my vision? What do I want to accomplish? Not thinking about the objections or if anyone is saying yes to me, but is that worth it? Is what I'm working for worth it? And then I see like where my health is now, what I'm doing to, you know, like in my fitness journey, and where I want to go also financially, and all my goals. And so, you know, I feel like I now I understand that
Yeah.
finally. But, you know, and as I do that, I just feel like well, regardless if I hit Success Club this month or not, I'm continuing. But then my question is, you know, I always see that they, on the videos, they say, well, you have to hit at least Success Club 5. If not, you're not doing what you're supposed to. And I see like the the people that I have invited and the ones that have said maybe, you know, but I haven't had anyone really do it.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I feel like, again, following up, am I gonna burn them up and they're gonna not come back to me?
Yeah.
Or should I just keep, you know, posting and engaging on my event and trying to do things that way, or inviting more people? I don't.
Okay. Yeah. So first of all, if you don't hit Success Club, it doesn't mean you should quit or that you're a horrible coach. Like if you're working your tail, if you're doing the work, you know, like that's going to compound. You will have harder months. Like I will tell you, I've hit Success Club, but guys, like I have probably talked to 100 plus people this month already. Okay. Honestly, some are follow-ups, some are new connections, some are people from my free groups, you know, like, I mean, I've talked to a lot of people. And so, you know, but the key is like, yeah, you're inviting, I mean, like Andrea, you said you've invited so many people and talked to so many people and nobody's committed. You know, like I think that sure we can evaluate, like, you know, what are your posts like, what are your conversations like, and we're doing that, which is important. But like you've got to constantly be expanding that pipeline. You know, use Instagram. Are you using those Instagram hashtags that we talked about? Are you connecting with people on Instagram? Are you adding friends on Facebook every day? Are you joining groups of people that are like you? You know, that's going to just constantly expanding that pipeline, expanding your market, expanding the people who you're talking to, sending those hey girl messages. I'll tell you, like I can look back at my hey girl messages that I've sent the past week or two, and a lot of them, most of them have not turned into a challenge group invite. But that's not necessarily my intention to just automatically go into a challenge group invite. My intention is to connect with those people, to get them following me, to get them to kind of know my personality a little bit more. And then maybe next month when I create an event or I post a challenge group ad and they see it and they like it, then I follow up with them and say, hey, you know, thanks for the love on my post. You know, I would love to tell you more about a challenge group or coaching or whatever the post is. And so like, that's not necessarily like, so if you're getting frustrated with hey girls because they're not going anywhere or they're not turning into challenge group invites, that's not necessarily the intention. The intention of hey girl messages is to connect, is to start a relationship. Okay. So like that could be a problem too. Like if you're going into hey girls thinking this has to turn into a challenge pack sale, that's not what those are for. Look at those as just kind of like, hey, I'm making a new friend today. Like I want this person to know what I'm about, who I am, you know, like just say, hey, I love your car, your clothes, your kids, your whatever, your inspiration, that you don't post negative stuff. Like I use that a lot. You can have those. There's apples in there too, but like I use that. I connect with people a lot. Like I look for positive people. Like if I get a new friend request from somebody or I friend request somebody else and they like post games all on their social media, like I unfriend them. But if I go in there and they're uplifting, they put scripture or they post funny videos or they're, like always talking about, like positive stuff. Like I love to send that message. I love to send the message that says, hey, Jamie, we just connected recently. I think we have a couple friends in common, but I love your social media page. Like there's so much negativity in this world and it's just so cool to see you posting so consistently uplifting messages, and people love that. People love to be complimented on doing something like that. And so like those hey girl messages for me personally, is the way I have worked my business is that they are just like friendships. They're new friendships. Okay. And so I would definitely, like, if you're connecting with old friends and they're not responding, look for new friends. That's kind of the way that's the way I would view it. And so like they'll start seeing what you're posting more. That's the way Facebook works. They're gonna. And so like think of those as just new relationships that you are forming, and think long term. Don't necessarily think this has to turn into something right now.
Yeah, I think that has been my weakness, the connecting part, because I just do not like doing that.
Yeah.
But
love it.
this month I have done it more, and I see how people talk to me more. We don't talk about challenge groups really, but just talk to me more and trust me more. And I heard yesterday wake up call, whatever the call is, and it was an old one, but she was saying that she would build relationships and would do a list of 100 people.
Mm-hmm.
And that month she would just connect with them all the time and put them in a list, and for a little bit just like their things every day.
Yeah.
And then those became her invites for the next month.
Okay, yeah, that's good. So that's kind of the way, like, I don't know if I've explained that really well to you guys. I know I've explained it many times before, but that's kind of my process. Like, whenever I add a new friend on Facebook, like, I'm not going to turn around and invite them to a challenge group. Like, I'm going to connect with them over something. Like, I'm going to add them as a friend first, so they're going to get that notification. Then I'm going to, like, go to their page. You can bundle up, it's cool. Then I'm going to go to their page and I'm going to like a few of their posts, maybe comment, and then maybe the next week, or just depends on how well I feel like I would connect with them, I'm going to send them a message, that hey girl message, and say, hey, how you doing? Like, I love this, that, where did you get your kids' hair bow? Like whatever. I'm going to connect over something. And then, maybe the next month after I know they're following me, I know that if I message somebody, they're going to my page, they're going to see what I'm about. And then maybe the next month I go back to my list from the month before and I send them an invite to my event page, or I send them a message that says, hey, I am running this faith and fitness challenge group this month. My goal is to help as many women as I can to really shift their focus away from dieting, yo-yo dieting, short-term results to long-term results in their health and fitness. And I just thought you might be interested. Would you like to learn more? So it's a process. It's not an immediate, it's not like instant gratification. They become my friend, they join my challenge group. It's definitely a relationship building process. And so like, I'm going to show you guys my screen. Hold on, let me see. Okay. So like, this is what, like going back to like last fall. If they liked my pumpkin picture that I did, I sent them a private message. And I didn't follow up with this. I didn't track this very well for a while, but like, I'm just like slowly connecting with these people. I'll write down when I connected with them, how I connected with them, what their first and last name is. Some are friends of some other people that are challengers. And then as I have a conversation with them or connect with them, I write the date down, and then I will go back. And so like, I can look and see, like this person right here, she was referred by somebody else. She filled out a woo-woo form. She didn't want to do it right now. And I asked her if I could follow up in May. And she said yes. Okay. And so like, I'm just keeping a thread going. I don't close out conversations. I don't take somebody off my list. I never take somebody off my list unless no, because he's a little feisty today. Okay. Feisty. He's just a little cookie. So like, I don't ever take somebody off my list unless they're like, leave me the heck alone, or they unfriend me. Like I just keep them on there. and I'm gonna reach out and connect with them later, or they may come to me eventually. But it's relationships. That's the best word. That's my word for today. It's relationship building. And I'm not a natural at that, guys. Like, I will be honest, I'm not a natural at that. If you know me from way long before, like, I have close friends, like I have a few close friends, and those are my people. But this has taught me to get outside my comfort zone and to really connect. And I mean, look at what God has been able to do through this by getting me outside my comfort zone. And so, like, that's what drives me. That's what motivates me. You know, like, Robbie Grzinski, if you're in our challenge group with Robbie, he's lost 100+ pounds. Like, and his coach, who's my downline coach, Tracy, she's not somebody I would have just met on the street and said, hey, let's be friends, you know. But we connected through somebody else. She became a coach. She's a great coach. We are friends now. And, you know, like, because of that, me getting outside my comfort zone and talking to her and connecting with her, like, I mean, just the ripple effect is incredible. And that drives me. That motivates me. And so, like, you may not have that yet. You may not have this big ripple effect and lots of challengers who have had some success. I've had lots of challengers and lots who didn't do anything, you know, but it's just like that one person that I was able to help this month. It's that one coach that I was able to help pay their car payment, or I didn't help. I mean, you know, like, they've earned enough money to pay their car payment. It's just like, what is your vision? What do you want to accomplish? Let that drive you. Let that motivate you when you sit down to send those messages, when you sit down to do that thing that's uncomfortable. And that's what I love about this Win the Day tracker that I shared with you guys. Like, on there, I think on the second page, it says, did I do something outside my comfort zone today? And that pushes me. That, like, challenges me. And so, like, I try to think of something every day that makes me get outside my comfort zone, because when I do, I am able to help more people. And I think she talks about that in that book as well. So, let's see, there was something else. What else was I going to talk about? I don't know. That's kind of it. Do y'all have anything else? Or does that help? Do you have questions about conversations or anything like that?
I have something right
Go,
here.
Rach.
Sorry. I hate to say wasting my time, because I don't feel like I'm wasting my time with anyone, because
Yeah.
I know my heart is to help them, you know, get out of a place where they're stuck, or, you know, learn those long-term healthy habits. I hate to say waste my time, but sometimes I feel like I've wasted time with someone because maybe the conversation has drug on. Really, so I've got some conversations that are really, really long, and I think, why did it take so long to get to the meat of it? And not only the meat of it, but to get to an actual response. Like, well, just for instance, I have a conversation that was very long, and she had a price objection.
Mm-hmm.
So I addressed it with Bill Found, and, you know, just kind of shared a little bit of my own story that way. And then it's kind of like, I get nothing after that, you know.
Yeah.
So then I follow up in a couple of days, and still nothing. And anyway, and then then I finally came down to, like, well, I need her to make a decision. So I kind of put it out there that way. I'm wrapping up my group. We're starting Monday, you know, that kind of a thing. Do you think this is the right time for you? And anyway, she comes out and she's like, well, honestly, I just cannot afford it right now. And but then she says, I don't want to commit to that investment until I know I can, you know,
Stick with it or something.
Yeah, she's like, I want to make that decision until I know I can commit with it. So I'm like, well, to me, I'm thinking, well, it actually just comes down to her not being able to commit rather than the price. Because I hate to talk about somebody, but I actually saw recently where she posted on Facebook, so who all of my friends sell Unique, which is a makeup product. So I'm like, if you can buy Unique and you're looking for it, that's where your priority is right now, not in your health. So anyway, so I don't know. I think I kind of learned from the conversation in a way, but not fully, because I think sometimes I waste a lot of time, because it probably took me over a week to close out a conversation with her.
Yeah.
Not but you know what I mean.
My advice for you, Rachel, and this is something I've learned over a long time, is that if people are giving you objections, they're kind of dragging the conversation out. Like you just kind of have to get to that point where you're like, okay, is this for you or not? Do you have questions that you still need answered, or are you just ready to go for it? And people they'll say, well, honestly, I can't afford it, or I'm just not ready, or whatever. But if I talk to somebody who it's just kind of like, if I'm dragging the conversation along and I'm not getting anywhere, and then I'll usually say something like, hey girl, I want to follow up one more time with you to see if this is for you. If it's not, that's totally okay. And if I get it, I'm real. Like if it's not for you, that's fine. But I want to make sure to include you because, I believe in this. And if you are ready to make some changes, then I'm here to help you. If not, that is totally fine. Just keep following me. I'm always sharing recipes, things like that. And they'll usually respond. Now, if somebody, if I'm in a conversation, and this has happened a lot this month about where I get the price objection and I handle it with, like Shakeology is actually a meal. I didn't buy it at first. I understand how you felt bad, but if they're like, well, if they keep coming back with, well, this or that, well, this or that, I'm like, hey, this is what I say. This is exactly what I say. I say, I'm not going to pressure you into buying anything that you're not ready to buy, because honestly, I only want people who are ready to make a change and they're committed to it. I use very strong language. I'm people who are ready and committed to do this with me. And if that's not you, that's totally okay. When you're ready, I'm always here. I always run a challenge group. And if you want to pray about it some more, if you want to think about it some more, that's fine. I just need to know because I have other people who are interested and I was saving your spot. And just let me know today if you're going to do it or not. And I just bring them to that point. And, a lot of people, when you get real with them, they're either going to say, okay, yeah, not now. Or they're like, well, okay. It forces them to make a decision for themselves. And so you just gotta let some of those people go sometimes, like I said, I always end a conversation and on a positive note, I'll offer them a meal plan or something like that. But if people are going to hem-haw around, then they're not going to do anything in your challenge group if you do get them to sign up. And you don't want people who aren't going to do anything. You want to help people get results because results help them and it helps your business too. So you don't want a challenge group full of people who aren't going to do anything, right? And so you just have to get real with people sometimes.
Right.
Huh?
I haven't been quite that bold with ending a conversation,
And like I said, I've just learned that. And I do it. When I write something like that, I'm always like, please just say this in love, Rachel, And I like for people to be real with me personally, so I don't want to you can't spend all your time in conversation with people who are never going to do anything. You got to keep going. And so like I said, so long as you're posting and adding value and you're doing things on your social media page that can help that person anyways, you don't have to feel bad about letting them go. Yeah.
Well, I did have a conversation on the phone with someone last week over the phone. She said, I'd rather talk over the phone. I don't like texting or anything else.
Yeah.
So, and that was very intimidating.
I know, it is hard for me. It's still hard for me.
About a 30-minute conversation, and it came down to a price objection with her toward the end of the conversation. But I actually was just like, well, I'm asking all my challengers to sign up with Shakeology with a challenge pack, which includes what all is, So
yeah.
So I don't know why I was able to do it easier over the phone, which was strange, rather than in the messaging. I was able to say, look, this is what I'm asking everybody to do. Purchase the challenge pack. I know this is what works,
Hey, I'm going to send y'all some wording right here in the Zoom thing, and I can post it in our group too that I've been using. When I get the price objection this month, here it is in the chat. I've had so many people tell me they want to do the program but not Shakeology this month. And I tell them, you know, I understand that feel, felt, found. I didn't buy Shakeology at first. I just started 21 Day Fix. I was not going to spend that much money on shakes, and I was serious. Like, I wouldn't do it. But this is what I say. But the thing with Shakeology is that most people spend that much on a meal already. It just sounds expensive because you're buying 30 meals all at once. And I've had people be like, you know, you're right, you know, and some people still don't do it. They still won't do it. And I understand that's a chunk of change all at once. But, you know, people don't realize you're already spending that much money on food or drinks or Cokes or whatever. You know, it just sounds expensive because you're buying 30 meals. You're buying a month's worth of meals. Okay. So that's one way that I have handled the price objection this month. What, Philip?
Why?
Do you like Shakeology?
Mm-hmm.
Tell them what kind of Shakeology you like. Okay. All right. And so what?
Have you seen my coat?
I have not seen your coat. I asked you to hang it up. It's probably in your room. Okay.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is one thing that I'm just, and that's kind of bold for me too. Like, I don't normally, I mean, I just say it, you know, like I just say it now, and people, I think they respect that. And, you know, if they decide not to do it now, like, you know, they will keep that in mind as they continue to watch you and think about your challenge groups every month as you post about it, you know? And so like, that's important. And I can share that wording in our group too. The other thing I was going to share with you guys, before I got off, and if you guys have more, just let me know. But, this, I told you about that post that I do from time to time that just says, I'm looking for 5 women. Okay, this is it.
Okay, I will get there.
Okay, I'm almost done. Just a minute. It just says, I'm looking for 5 women who want to lose up to 15 pounds and get, I said fit for fall. This was way back in the fall. You'll meet some new friends. We'll take it one day at a time, reach your goals, and before you'll know it, blah, blah, blah. You can read it. And I'll post this in the page too. But it's very simple. It's to the point. I got 11 comments on Instagram on this. Of course, I use my hashtags, which are really important. Okay, please, please, please use your hashtags in Instagram. And then, like, I'm on my Facebook page. I know I got lots of response. I remember, because I haven't done that in a while. But it's just like that. It's just a picture of me. Like, it's a picture that makes people stop, because like I intentionally chose like a good picture. And I'll tell you, this picture, like, I sat down, that was from last summer. Like, I just sat down and took a bunch of pictures of myself. Like, you can change your shirt, change your workout things, your headband, whatever. And I just took a bunch of pictures and I edited it, I think in Snapseed, and I saved it on my phone. So like that night, this post took me about 3 minutes, because I had already written out this I'm looking for 5 women post before in the past. I had it saved in Evernote. I pulled up that picture that I had saved from a long time ago, and I copied and pasted the words. I posted it, and then I copied and pasted my hashtags that I also have saved in Evernote. And so like, it doesn't always have to be this huge, long, drawn out, emotionally worded post. You know, some people are motivated by skinny jeans and boots and swimsuits and things like that. So it's okay to talk about it. I mean, of course, my challenge groups are faith focused, but I mean, we're women. What would motivate you? Like right now on March 16th, if you had 30 days to do something to change your body, think about like summertime shorts, swimsuits, whatever it is. Like, just change the wording and say, you know, it'll be fun. You'll meet some new friends. We'll take it one day at a time. And before you know it, you'll be rocking those shorts, or, you know, that mom swimsuit, or, you know, whatever, tank tops, you know, shoulders, whatever. Think about it that way. And people love that. Like, that's how you think, like you would think as a woman, as a mom, as a wife, and just keep it simple, you know. And I'll share that too. But that is, you know, that's one thing that I do when I'm feeling like I'm not getting anywhere. And, you know, like, guys, if you feel like you're not getting anywhere, just go for it. Do a live video. Be real. Have fun. Be kooky. You know, like, just go for it. You know, just throw a post out there like that. See what happens. Like, I love that I can experiment with posts and wording and things like that, and just see how people respond. And so like, that's one thing that I do from time to time when I'm feeling like my wordy posts aren't getting anywhere. Does that make sense? That help? Lauren, did you crash? It looks like you're laying on the floor. All I see is the ceiling. Okay. All right. Does anybody else, you guys have any other questions? Anything else? Does that stuff help? Lauren, do you have something, or are you done? Were you waving?
No,
Okay.
no, I'm good. I'm just at
Okay.
work, so.
All right, guys.
I'm just listening.
Okay. And you know, in those conversations, the thing is, like, you've got to bring it to a point where you ask them a question to make a decision about something, you know, whether it's join a free group, learn more about coaching, join my fitness challenge group. What are your goals? You know, you've got to ask those questions. Okay.
I've got something else, Rachel.
Go ahead.
I have some that, you know, because of the price objection, are like, I want to do the workout and maybe work up to Shakeology, or I don't want to do Shakeology, just a workout right now. And
Yeah.
I kind of explain why I think it's important to do all.
Yeah.
Is it better to say something more like, well, has that worked for you in the past?
Oh, that's good. I like that.
I just thought about that. I was like, is it better? I don't know if it would get more conversation from them or get down to the deep root of their problem better. I don't know.
That's good. I like that. You know, because you hear that a lot. You know, like, I've talked to so many people this month who are like, I'm walking, I'm doing my elliptical, and then you talk to them about these workout programs and nutrition and Shakeology, and, you know, then you get to it and they're like, oh, well, I just want to work out. And I'm like, well, you said you're doing that and it's not working, you know, but that's a good way to say it, Rachel. I love that.
Yeah.
And I think that people respect you being real and direct with them. I mean, because that's our job as coaches. I mean, our job is not to sugarcoat things and say, oh, you can do it. You know, like, our job is to say, well, is what you're doing working? Or, like, if they're in my challenge group and they're always constantly saying, oh, well, if they post a 2 on their food every day, I'm going to call them out, you know, like, you're not changing anything. And so, like, I think that's good. Well, is that working for you now? I think that's good. I like it. Try it. See what happens. Let us know what happens.
I did curves one time for a year. And I hated it. I had no results. And I think, the biggest thing was they talked to me a little bit about nutrition, but, you know, there was not really any accountability at all. You know, I was doing some workouts, but anyway.
Yeah.
Just like most people out there tried all kinds of different workouts, or maybe even some dieting somewhere, but nothing has lasted. So
yeah, and that's what the way I talk about Shakeology is. I'm like, you know, I say, can you get fit and healthy without Shakeology? Absolutely, but it's just I see it as a tool. It's a tool. It's a fast, easy, yummy tool that I have in my toolbox to help me stay on track of my nutrition and to help me stay healthy. I mean, you know, I cannot deny that Shakeology has cut my cholesterol in half, has lessened my hormones, you know, like, it's done all, it cuts my sugar cravings. It gives me more energy. Like, those are things that I cannot deny. You know, I know for a fact. And can I be healthy without it? Absolutely. But I don't want to be. I choose not to be. You know, it just makes it easier for me.
I've talked to some about how other protein shakes, how they're just protein and maybe vitamins like
Right.
Special K and some of those other ones. So I've tried those. They didn't help me lose weight. They didn't curb my cravings. I was hungry within 30 minutes. You know, it wasn't good enough. I've had other people say, yeah, I've tried this too. And I was hungry too. You know, so I talked about the difference and how Shakeology is a meal and it's dense. You know, it's not going to.
And that's stuff you put in your post too. You know, like, that's not just stuff you put in. And if you're getting tons of price objections, or no, I'm not going to do this with Shakeology, like, make a post about it. Talk about why you drink Shakeology. Share a success story for your challengers. I mean, like, you've got to be posting about the things that people are telling you in your conversations. I've had so many people tell me, I'll do the challenge group, but I'm just going to drink Slim Fast this month. And I tell them, Slim Fast is really bad for you. I mean, like, I just straight up say it. And if you've seen my posts, like, I've talked a lot about Slim Fast lately in my posts, because I'm tired of people telling me they're going to drink Slim Fast. I'm like, do you want to be healthy, or do you just want something to do? Because, like, Slim Fast is horrible for you. And anyway, so, like, yeah, I totally addressed that in my post lately, because I've heard it so much. And I'm like, I don't care if you do Shakeology or not, just don't drink Slim Fast. Like, it's bad for you. And so, like, I just say it because I care. Like, I'm not just here to sell Shakeology. I want somebody to be healthy. And if they're drinking Slim Fast, it's not good for you. Don't drink it, you know? So anyways, that's my point. Cool. I drank Slim Fast like crazy in college. Lindsay, you probably don't. We didn't live together in college, but I would put them in the freezer because they were nasty to me. But like I felt like I was gonna lose weight, and I didn't. I was fat in college, not fat, but like I was overweight. Anyways, like I would put them in the freezer and freeze them so they'd be slushy, and I could get it down. And like, oh, they were horrible. Like I can still taste it. But I thought it was gonna make me skinny, and it didn't. Anyways, okay, that's all I got, y'all. Well, y'all know where I'm at, and I'm gonna put this wording about Shakeology in there, and I just posted that picture, and I posted a prayer from that She Works His Way devotion this morning that I loved. Just asking God to like help me be creative, help me to have ideas, things like that, and like it's something that I have to pray for because I don't have it on my own. Okay, I gotta go. I was yelling at Henry. All right, guys, I'll talk to y'all soon. Okay.